we're going to move to the final panel, which will look at the social safety net. And the question we will be trying to answer with our two panelists is, are the social safety net up to the task, especially in response to the first two panels that we had that painted a picture that is not the rosiest. So we better get ready. And on this panel, we have Anthony Gill. Anthony is an Australian-based professional aviator with a strong bent on social reform and economic justice. During the COVID-19 lockdown, Anthony put his ideas down in a book that he calls The Luckier Country, which is published in 2002. So the successes that he had met after writing the book led him to meet many other people and organizations who, like him, want to make the world a better place. So Anthony also serves on the executive committee of Prosper Australia. For those who don't know, Prosper Australia is a George's organization that is based in Australia.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure to hear everyone's views on AI. And you mentioned the fear or the pessimism, I'll call it fear, of the first half of the day. And that's because I think what we've done is we've looked in the mirror and we've seen the soul of humanity. The underlying cause of humanity, of the issues with AI. Is everyone watching? The problem is with us. If we go back through human history, there's always been conflict and violence and pillage, torture, rape, enslavement, murder. But every sword has a hand on it. Every spear is thrown by a hand. Every bomb is dropped by someone pushing a button. In the final analysis, AI is not the threat. AI does not have agency. AI is most definitely a tool. And to help you get your head around that, I'm going to use an analogy. Think of AI as an aeroplane. Aeroplanes have reached the stage now where they can fly by themselves. They can take off, climb, cruise, descend, and land completely without human input. But let me ask you, would you be happy travelling on a plane with no pilots up the front? I'll let you into a secret. I'm a pilot, was a pilot, and I wouldn't be. So I think this is how, developing this analogy, how we can think of AI. Now, AI can be a terrific thing. It allows you to get on board, and with the right direction from humans, allows you to fly from one continent to another under the supervision of humans. Unfortunately, it can also be used as a weapon, as we have seen in the last couple of days. B-2 bombers, AI, have been used as a weapon. Now, I'm not getting into the debate about whether it was a good use of a weapon or a bad use of a weapon, but I'm just saying that it's exactly the same thing. Instead of being a passenger aeroplane, it's now a bomber carrying a weapon of mass destruction. So that's the way we can think of AI, whether it's and how to integrate it into the future, our future. To think of it as having agency, yes, it only has agency if we allow it to have agency. We can easily design a world, design our systems and institutions where AI has limited agency. And if it gets out of control, we just pull the plug. AI requires, as they say, a lot of compute, which takes a lot of energy, electrical energy, and it requires conscious decisions and planning by humans to provide the infrastructure to supply the electricity. So we are ultimately in charge. And all the scenarios that we've talked about in this session about whether AI will do this to us or whether AI will do that to us, unfortunately, we are talking about ourselves doing these things to each other. It always has been that way, but it cannot continue. There's a direct causal link, as they say, thoughts, words, and deeds. Our cognition drives our behaviours. So far, we haven't been in a situation where we can do ourselves terribly much harm. The sword, okay, it only kills the person next to us. Even the machine gun, it's limited. There's still a human finger on the trigger, but it's limited in its scope. We have now reached the point in our evolution where there are two things that can cause our extinction. One are nuclear weapons. And two, if we allow AI to have that agency, they could probably do us, AI could do us a fair bit of damage. So we must use our thoughts, our cognition, cognitive powers as human beings, and make choices to ensure our survival. If we don't change 5 millennia or more of thinking, then perhaps Steve Engel was right. Isn't this just natural selection at work? So perhaps if we don't change our thinking, we will be doing the universe a favour and winning the Darwinian Award of the Cosmos and extincting ourselves. So it comes down to ethics, morality, what we think of our fellow human beings. And it's what Georgists have always been up against. It is our innate desire to get something for nothing at the expense of our fellow citizens. The rentiers, who hold unearned income in private hands. It's the same thing. It's the empire builders, those who are best at war and expansion, and they get rewarded with wealth and power and empires, even though they may have killed their parents or their siblings to get there. So we've got to change that. Now we can go on and talk about the social safety nets, and I'll hand over to Steve in a minute. But the bottom line is we really need to change our thinking.